This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp., Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Nebo, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. The host of Inside Badger Football is Chase Hartzell.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Inside Badger Football with Trey Shucker. I'm Chris Babb, filling in for Chase Hartzell today. Joining me is Arkadelphia head coach Trey Shucker. Coach, thanks for being here. It's always good to be doing one of these shows because it means the Badgers are still playing. We'll talk about a second-round playoff win against Batesville Southside and then get into the quarterfinal matchup against Crossett. Let's go back to last week. 51-20 victory over Southside High School in Batesville. You talked in the postgame that you thought your team traveled really well. Yeah. What did you mean by that? And I guess it was just kind of a testament to the maturity of your team.
Yes, and that's exactly what I meant by it was, having to go all the way to Batesville. It was a long day. It was a long process. There's almost 3 hours on a bus. We stopped in Searcy and did a walkthrough and did our pregame meal there, and just the whole process of the day. It makes for a really long game day. And our kids did a really good job of staying focused, handled the whole process of it. Whenever there's a whole lot of things to do and things going on outside of the game, it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to kind of just get out of the normal game day atmosphere of things. And, it's easy to, when you're on a bus for so long, it's easy to get kind of, almost jet lagged. And get up there and not play as well, but our kids handled it really well, stayed focused all the way through, and went and accomplished the goal.
I would guess in a trip like that, there is the fear of a coaching staff to come out sluggish, and that is the exact opposite of what your Badgers did. It was a fast start offensively, a fast start defensively, and it really set the tone for the rest of the game in the first part of the first quarter.
Yes, and that's what we talked about all year or all week was, we want to start fast. We've got to go on the road. We've got to be road warriors. And part of that is handling the environment and controlling the environment early, and that's how starting fast is going to do that. And our kids did a great job of doing, starting fast and finishing the game fast, just like we would like to do every week. And just a testament to our kids, our coaches for being prepared and handling it really well.
The football coaches talk about the three phases of a game needing to work together. Friday night was a great example, offense, defense, and special teams. Let's touch on offense for a second. You talk a lot about giving the ball to your playmakers in space. 5 different Badgers scored touchdowns Friday night. It was just a really efficient offensive effort, again, for your Badgers.
It really was, one of our most efficient nights. Our quarterback had his most efficient night. Only had one incompletion. Our receivers did a great job of catching the ball and getting in space and getting open, playing fast, using speed. Our O-line did a great job of maintaining blocks up front. It was just a really good night offensively. Just clicked all the way around. 5 different Badgers scored, and that's just a testament to just attacking the space, just taking what they're giving you, and just being able to handle it really well.
Defensively, you were going up against a similar offensive attack, but just a different look. The gun tee, primarily a running offense. The quarterback for Southside, Haas, came into the game with 1,500 yards rushing. You had talked last week in our pregame interview before the broadcast about a different defensive look. Coach Grimmett and the defensive coaching staff had to be pleased with the execution of your guys Friday night.
Yes, we were really pleased with how they handled it. Southside Batesville, they did a great job offensively. They put up a lot of points on teams. They run their offense really effectively. And their kids are big, strong kids. You know, they might not, what they lack in speed, they make up for in, you know, just being tough, physical, strong players. And they run their offense really effectively. Probably one of the best in the state at what they do. And you know, our defense had we had a really good scheme going in. Our kids executed it very, very well.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from the 51-20 second round win for the Badgers over the Southside Southerners. It was a beautiful Friday evening. Coach, it was one of those games where you walk up to the stadium at 5 o'clock, the lights are already on, you know it's playoff, and this is that first offensive series where we talk about a quick start. We had Jay-Sean Davis first, and then Braylon Bailey, who had a huge game offensively and defensively.
Yeah, you know, our first drive really set the tone for the rest of the game. We were very efficient. You know, every play went for good yards, and it was really set up by the first kickoff. You know, Latonio Hughes had a really big kickoff return, put us in good field position, and then just we spread the ball out in different ways that first drive, and you know, executed the plays very well. And, you know, Donovan did a great job of getting out of the pocket and keeping plays going forward. You know, see him right there, and then you know, Jay-Sean Davis, when we get close, so tough, and we get in our heavier package the closer we get. And you know, really our best execution out of our heavier package was Friday night. You know, we get bodies on bodies, and there's nobody else to make the play.
7-0 quickly, Arkadelphia with the lead. The first defensive series coming up, and your defense is going to force a punt. I know that was had to be a good boost for your defense.
Absolutely. You know, we knew that that first drive we wanted to set the tone on offense, but that the first drive that our defense was out, you know, we wanted to set the tone for the rest of the game as well. You know, I thought our defense was flying around. We met and exceeded their intensity and physicality, and we got to the ball and wrapped up and tackled really well.
This is an offense that uses some deception, and here is a fourth down play where a false start on the receiver on the near side forces a 4th and 6 to force Southside to punt. And so Alex Lloyd gives Arkadelphia a good field position. Your offense goes back to work.
Yes, and you know, that was one thing also that I thought we did a lot better job of, was minimizing penalties and unnecessary penalties. And that was very crucial with field position and you know, keeping drives alive on offense and getting the other team off the field defensively.
A lot of times you see, you know, use the run to set up the pass, but the first couple of drives, it looked like, again, defense was keyed on Jay-Sean Davis. It allowed Donovan Whitten to kind of open things up with his feet, and which opened it up for everybody. As we're going to see right here, Braylon Bailey wide open. We'll see a replay and see the defenders have their attention on Jay-Sean Davis in the backfield, and this is a play that's been successful for Arkadelphia this year.
It really has, and you know, just Donovan's done so well at reading it. And our players have done a great job at finding the space to get open. You know, we really did set it up before that with some runs by Jay-Sean. Jay-Sean really did have some good runs leading up to it. But really, it was just set up by the run game, and we find a way to get behind the defense right there and execute the throw and catch.
14-0 Arkadelphia. Coach, this is the first sustained series that Southside had on offense. It does end in a touchdown. This is one of the only really long sustained drives they were able to have throughout the night.
Yeah, and that's one thing that they do really well is, you know, that first drive, they're able to get back to the sideline and make adjustments of, you know, how they want to block what's going on defensively. And, you know, in this drive, we did see a couple new wrinkles that they had added just based off of what we were doing. And, you know, that was one thing that we adjusted really well to. You know, credit to Coach Grimmett, Coach Chandler, Coach Evans, our defensive staff, being able to recognize it and find an answer. Landon
Kewen and Marvion Berry there with the tackle of the quarterback in the backfield. Coach, you talk about adjustments. I think that's probably one thing the average fan is not looking for. There are a lot of adjustments defensively when you're having to go against an offense like this.
There really is, just because there's so many different ways that they can block certain plays. And they're just, I mean, offensively, they're trying to find the best way to do it. And then, you know, if we're getting them on something, you know, they're going to make an adjustment, and then we've got to adjust right behind it. So, I mean, it's just like a chess match. And, you know, the biggest thing is put your kids in a situation to be successful, and I thought we did that Friday.
Marvion Berry with another blocked extra point. Went back and looked at one at a couple of ways. It was just a tremendous effort by the special teams and able to take advantage of a gap. Here you follow that up with another big special teams play, Alex Lloyd recovering the onside kick, setting up your offense with great field position.
Yes, and that's crucial that we had planned on, going into it. We knew that they would onside kick a couple times. If we could recover them, we'd be fine. And then, that would give us good field position. You see Braylon Bailey taking advantage of good field position. Just a really good throw and catch. And, he almost scores. We get close. We get into that heavier package again and execute it really well, get Jay Sean in the end zone.
Another score for Arkadelphia as we are in the second quarter now, as the South Side really was 14-6. Arkadelphia makes it 21-6. This was the beginning of a 23 straight points that really provided the separation in Friday night's game. There you see good gang tackling, pursuit down the line for the Arkadelphia defense.
Yeah, and this was, we're riding momentum right now, and our defense is really feeling it, and they're trusting the game plan. And, this was one of the biggest plays that they had all night. And it was a really great play call. They ran a quarterback draw on 3rd and long. Our defense, wasn't something that we had really planned on into the game. But, our defense didn't let them get anything after that. Our defense still held tall, stayed strong, and trusted the game plan of what we had going in, and really did a great job at getting to the ball and wrapping up, being physical. You see a lot of white jerseys getting to the football, and that's what we want. Big
4th down stop, and then a big play offensively. Donovan Whitten to Latonio Hughes, and he just kind of outruns the defense, knifes through them, and is able to find the end zone.
Yeah, Latonio is one of those guys that when he's got the ball, if he's in space, he's very hard to get a beat on a tackle, and you see it right there. Speed just kills. It does, and Latonio does a great job of playing fast, and he's just a tough guy to tackle whenever he's running full speed.
So the Badgers have a 20-point lead now, 22-point lead, I believe, at 28-6 at this point, midway through the second quarter. And you talk about the momentum. You see it here on special teams, and the defense continues to ride that momentum and try to come up with big stops.
Yeah, I thought our kickoff coverage was really good overall all night. We did a great job at running and sprinting down the field and really putting pressure on them and putting them in good field position, putting ourselves in good field position to play defense.
See a 3rd down, almost intercepted by Jay Sean Davis. You had Marvion Berry on the pressure, and then here a 4th and long. Ollie Ware sneaks underneath. I believe they did rule that an interception, as he was going to be Arkadelphia's ball regardless. And then you give the ball to Braylon Bailey. He was electric as usual when he had the ball Friday night.
Yes, and he's playing his best football right now. Braylon Bailey with the football is electric. And, he's playing really well. We've got to find ways to keep getting him the football.
Jay Sean Davis stumbles there on the 1st down play. Arkadelphia trying to come up with a 4th down conversion here. I believe it was just short. So, no, that was a 4th down and long conversion that was just short. And that was one of the only times that the offense was stopped all night.
It was, and, it was really stopped by a penalty in a previous play to that. That was one of the things that we'd felt was, we can't have unnecessary penalties, and that was one of our only ones of the night.
Special teams is able to come away with a mistake, a safety for Southside. It makes the score 30-6, and now you're going to have great field position on the Braylon Bailey with the toss, and I don't know what he's got on that uniform, but it just seems like it's hard for people to square him up.
He's tough. He's one of those guys that you're not going to get just a clean tackle on.
Right.
He's one of those guys that hopefully if you can get a hand on him, you can just hold on.
So 37-6 now after the touchdown. Braylon Bailey rush sets up the play action pass to Braylon Bailey for the 37-6 score. And Coach, this is late in the second quarter, and you're up by 31 points. One of the best kickoff returns Southside had. Set them up with good field position. Your defense comes up with what we thought was a good 4th down stop here in a couple of plays, and that would have set you up to the way we've seen the last few weeks is have another quick score to put it in the good sportsmanship rule, but a penalty was called. And so this is going to end up in a Southside touchdown. As here's the horse collar penalty called against Arkadelphia. The flag was thrown after the play cut off, so you couldn't see it, and then Southside's able to get inside the red zone.
Yeah, and I talk about not having unnecessary penalties. That's just a play right there where we're being aggressive. That's one of those plays that I can live with the penalty of being aggressive and trying to make a play. It's all the extra penalties that I don't like, and we minimize those.
37-14 at halftime, and here's the start of the third quarter, and so it's a 3-possession ball game. Southside gets the ball coming out, and so I thought this was a big statement by your defense to come up with a stop.
Yes, and at halftime we'd made some adjustments defensively based off of what they had shown the first half, and we felt good about it going into the second half, and we talked to our kids about, it doesn't matter what the score is, we got to play to our expectation, we got to play to our standard of football and go execute.
Alex Turley in with Kewen and Darian Beard and Max Wilson. Just a great effort defensively from all of the Badgers, especially defensive front and linebackers. Forced a fourth down stop. Arkadelphia now has the ball inside Southerner territory. Braylon Bailey is going to set this one, and Coach Alex Lloyd could not have been more wide open.
Yeah, this was one of those plays where kind of like the first half, we had run the ball a couple times and set up that big play by Alex Lloyd. Defense is really keying in on Jay Sean in the run, and we're able to get behind them.
44-14 now, and now your kickoff coverage sets up Southside inside its own 5.
Yeah, that was that kickoff coverage, and we had that one big return on us, but we just knew that if we ran and trusted our running lanes, that we could get down and cover down really well, and we did that.
A lot of tackles for loss, or at least short gains, and from this offense, that doesn't happen very often. You put them behind the chains, and a lot of times that's not what they want to do.
That's right. In this offense, playing behind the chains is very difficult, and we knew that first and second down was going to be crucial for us to get ahead and get ahead early in the drives, and great job by our coaches and players with the scheme, the adjustments, and being able to go out and execute.
44-14, it's a 30-point lead as now we go into the fourth quarter. Coach, I thought your players, even with a 30-point lead, maintained the intensity and really played well down the stretch.
Yes, and that's what we want to be like this time of year. Everybody's in the same situation of you either win or your season's over. So it doesn't matter what the score is, you're going to get everybody's best all the way through. And our kids did a great job at handling the lead and being able to continue to be the same way and play the same way all the way through the game.
Southside does score a touchdown. The 2-point conversion was no good. It's 44-20. Trip Campbell on an out route, and I believe we'll see Trip Campbell here with the screen pass for the touchdown. But look at Matthew Porter and Darian Beard out there blocking.
Yeah, they did a great job at doing their role on our screen game and getting out and playing fast and getting a body on a body. And, that was just great by those guys to open it up for Trip to be able to get to the end zone.
So now it is 51-20. The outcome was never in doubt, just what was going to be the final score. And late in the fourth quarter, Southside trying to put another one in, but your defense doesn't let them get in.
Yeah, it's just hard testament to our defense, playing the same way all the way through. In this situation, the touchdown is not going to matter, but it doesn't matter what the score is. We don't want to let the other team score at all. And our defense did a great job.
Jay-Sean Davis had a long touchdown run called back for a penalty, so he says, well, I'll just go ahead and get another long run, another good effort from the senior running back, and here you're able to go into the victory formation and secure the 51-20 victory for the Arkadelphia Badgers, and that puts Arkadelphia into the quarterfinal round. Practice on Thanksgiving, and Coach, I know that anytime a team can be practicing during Thanksgiving week, it's a break for the students in school, but in the high school football world, if you're still practicing during Thanksgiving week, that's a positive sign.
It is. Anytime you get to practice on Thanksgiving, it means you're playing football still, and only the best teams play during Thanksgiving.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the players of the week from the victory over the Southside Southerners. We'll start with the offensive player of the week, and Coach, you mentioned Donovan Whitten, one of the most efficient games he's had at quarterback, only one incompletion, almost 300 yards passing.
Yeah, he was 11 of 12, 281, and 5 touchdowns. Pretty smooth day at the office. It's not just him. He did a great job at making his reads and getting the ball to our playmakers. Great job by the offensive line protecting, and then our playmakers going and making plays as well. But Donovan had his best game by far. He's done a great job all season. He's leading our offense, with getting us, keeping us moving forward.
It's the second week in a row your offensive player of the week has had 12 either rushing attempts or passes and 5 touchdowns. Last week it was Jay-Sean Davis who had 12 rushes for 5 touchdowns. This week, Jay-Sean was your defensive player of the week. He saw a lot more action on the defensive side of the ball this week against Southside than he had all season.
Yeah, Jay-Sean was our defensive player of the week. We asked him to play a big role on defense. based off of what Southside Batesville was going to do, and he met it. He had 15 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. It was just a big part of getting that offense off the field.
Special Teams Player of the Week, Marvion Berry. We've seen Marvion in this spot before, another blocked extra point. Marvion has really played well at that linebacker position, but also on special teams this season.
Yes, special teams, he was phenomenal. He had that blocked PAT, and then he's also the reason why we were able to get the safety on our punt return unit. He ran the ball down and caused a safety, and he's just playing so well during the special teams, and special teams is something that we take pride in. A lot of teams out there don't maybe not look at special teams as often and work on it as much, but our special teams units are very sound and do a really good job, and Marvion did a great job Friday.
Our Badger Spirit Award winner, another junior linebacker, Zane Thomason.
Yeah, Zane Thomason did a great job this week. We've not talked as much about our scout team looks, but Zane Thomason was crucial in giving our offense a look on the defensive scout look, and then he just did a great job with us, got us prepared, and has always been a team player, and he's just did a great job giving us a look on the scout team this week.
The Badgers are 51-20 winners at Southside in the second round. Not the only 4A7 team alive in the playoffs last week. There were 4 4A7 teams in the state playoffs in the second round last week. You see the Arkadelphia score the big win over Southside. Joe T. Robinson advances to the quarterfinals with a 49-7 win at home over Pocahontas. Ashdown makes the long trip to Northwest Arkansas in a 21-0 loss for the Panthers to Shiloh Christian. And then Malvern had to make the long trip to Northeast Arkansas and play Rivercrest, a game that was tied 21-21. Rivercrest was able to score late to get that victory, so that sets up this week the quarterfinals of the 4A state playoffs. Shiloh Christian at Rivercrest, Arkadelphia at Crossett, Stuttgart is at Warren, and Lamar is at Joe T. Robinson. Those 2 games on the top part of that screen will match up together in the semifinals, and the bottom 2 games will match up in the semifinals as well. Coach, normally we just put the 4A7 schedule up there, but when there are only 8 teams left and you're one of them, that's a good thing, and Arkadelphia is playing this week against Crossett, and we'll talk about that. But this conference that Arkadelphia is in, the 4A7, is always going to have teams have success in the state playoffs, and we see that this season with 4 in the second round and 2 in the quarterfinal round.
Yes, our conference is so tough, and whenever you've got high-quality coaching staffs, high-quality programs, high-quality teams with really good players, it's a battle every week of conference play, and then that really battle tests you going into playoffs, that postseason, and it just seems like a normal Friday night every week of playoffs, just because it's that way during our conference as well.
This week is Thanksgiving week. No school in the Arkadelphia School District, but your players are up at the schedule. Let's take us through the Thanksgiving week schedule. As we record this on Tuesday, we have Wednesday and Thursday to come. Obviously, the game Friday night. Let's talk about the schedule for your week and how you set that up to try to maintain some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, the biggest thing we did, Monday was our normal just learning day. We did an afternoon practice, kept it on a somewhat normal schedule, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practices are in the mornings. We just wanted to get the kids up, get them up there, and get them going early, and then we give them the rest of the day off. Give them some kind of a break as well, but we want to get them up out of bed and get them there. That way that they're not sleeping in until 11:30, 12 o'clock. But get them up to the facility, and let's go practice and get our work in, and then they get the rest of the day off.
A team meal after practice on Wednesday, an early morning practice on Thursday, so the players can have times with their families on Thursday, and then you get on the bus and hopefully travel well again Friday to Crossett.
That's right. That was one thing that we've kind of talked about the whole playoffs, was we got to be road warriors, and we got to do that again this week when we go to Crossett. Being Thanksgiving week, we're not in school Friday, so we're able to leave a little bit earlier. There's not as much things going on, but we can just focus on the game. So we're looking forward to getting on the bus and going to Crossett.
Let's talk about the Eagles, the second seed out of the 4A8. They are on the top half of the bracket, or top part of the bracket, so that's why they have the game at home. it's a different offense than you will have seen for the last few weeks. What can Arkadelphia fans expect to see from the CrossFit offense? And I guess that probably starts with their quarterback.
It really does. Everything goes through their quarterback. They've got some electric receivers, but their quarterback is just a phenomenal athlete. Got a big arm. He can put the ball anywhere on the field. He's probably one of their fastest players as well. Just a phenomenal athlete at quarterback. He's dangerous. They run the spread. They'll use multiple receivers and throw the ball around a little bit, and they're pretty similar to kind of what we do. They just have their own little twists of it. It'll be a big battle. Our defense has got to really step up, make tackles, and take good angles to the ball this week.
And it'll be a different type of offense that you see. You've seen some running-based attacks frequently over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So a few adjustments there defensively, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah, for sure. We've been going against the wing tee or gun tee for the past few weeks, and this is going to be a lot different. And we've changed how we practice and do a little bit of different things to prepare for that. And it's not like we haven't seen it. It's just it's been a couple weeks since we have had to, and then we're prepared for it. We've had a good couple days of practice up to this point, and our kids are ready.
Defensively, CrossFit's going to bring athletes and speed as well. And so I would imagine that you've got to feel good about the way your offense has been trending the last few weeks as we go deep into the playoffs.
Yes, our offense has been really efficient. Our kids have done a great job of preparing and then executing the plays in the game. But CrossFit's defense, they're a little bit different than what we've seen up to this point. They're running a 3-3 stack defense, and they put more athletes on the field. Their linebackers might not have a true linebacker body. They're more of a DB skill player position, and they're just really fast. I mean, they really are. They get to the ball well. They're good at what they do, and they play the ball in the air really well also. So, we've just got to attack the space and be good runners. We've got to take care of the football and maintain the line of scrimmage.
2 years ago, the Badgers went to CrossFit in the same Friday night. Not many players on the Badgers team that we'll see Friday night had much action in that game. I think Jayshon Davis probably did, but CrossFit does have a few seniors who had significant action in that game.
They really do. And back in 2019, they've got a couple players that really made a lot of plays for them that year, and those guys are seniors now. Their quarterback being one of them, and then they have a receiver out there that was a starting receiver back then as well, and they're phenomenal players. I mean, they really are. They're really good. We're battle tested. We've seen really good players all year. They're really good as well. So we've got to come ready and be prepared to get to the ball and wrap up and tackle.
It's the 4A state quarterfinals. The Arkadelphia Badgers will travel to Southeast Arkansas and face the CrossFit Eagles Friday at 7 p.m. As always, for the 4A state playoffs, the tickets are online only. So go to the Badger Athletics Facebook page or the Arkadelphia Public Schools Facebook page. If you're not sure on how to purchase those tickets online, you must do that on your device and show that device at the gate in order to enter the game. If you can't make the game, we invite you to tune in to ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com as Dr. Jeff Root, Chase Hartzell will have the call of the game of the Badgers at CrossFit. It's the 4A state quarterfinals. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Inside Badger Football. And as always, go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bancorp, Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson, and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. Inside Badger Football is produced weekly by Ouachita Baptist University's Rogers Department of Communications and the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.